two generations have been dreaming of an opportunity like this. And it's on! Liverpool scores! Our dream! What do they do to beat the Australians? Yes! What a try that is! Oh, magnificent! What a try!
Before we get started onto this week's episode, just let you know that it's sponsored by Pavida Teamwear, which is available at yourclubstash.co.uk.
Pavida are a UK-based emerging teamwear company. They have a 2 to 4 week turnaround with bespoke designs, many of which are Polynesian. They provided these shirts, of which we absolutely love them. You can get a full store, everything from wooden spoons to your full kit and everything in between. So check them out if you're in the market for new club stash.
The link is in the description below. Check them out. It's yourclubstash.co.uk.
Welcome to the first ever Rugby League Outsiders Ashes show. Very, very happy to announce that we've got Rich Squires here as our Aussie expert. Have you ever been called that before, Rich?
I don't know if I'll leave that down.
He's even turned up wearing green.
He has, hasn't he? He's got proper primal pattern.
Yeah. I was going to wear my Aussie jersey. Fuck that.
Mate, we wouldn't let you in.
So I just want to make it very clear that the Rich, although he did live in Oz for a while and he follows a lot of NRL, he's not Australian. You'll get that when his dulcet Bradford tones kick in a minute. Obviously, you'll recognise Karl. You know exactly who he is, and the way that we're going to pitch this is, Rich, you're going to act almost as the Australian representative. Although you know your colours are
not a problem.
Getting battered just like the weekend.
Karl, obviously you are full on English. You know, you're as English as Yorkshire pudding.
It's a little bit biased, isn't it, this show? No Australians will be harmed during the making of Ashes Series 1.
Tend to be one.
We've picked out 6 interesting news stories that's all centred around the Ashes that's upcoming this week. Before we start, though, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not bothered at all, pretty much dead, 10 being like, oh, this is amazing. Where are you in terms of excitement for the game on Saturday?
Been on countdown for me.
I'm on about a 2 now.
2? Yeah. What do you mean?
I've been on a 10 since it were announced.
You was on a 12.
You
was on a 12 last week.
Since it were announced. Can't wait.
Yeah, no, it really has been one of those things anyway. We've literally been counting down for this.
Yeah.
You know, we had a few things like the Super League season to get out of the way first of all. But actually now, you know, we're days out.
2020 was meant to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, we waited 20 years for this Ashes series or something ridiculous.
It was meant to be 2020, I think. Obviously, COVID is.
Well, before we kick in, let's just lay out some facts. Karl, you pulled in some facts before we came to record. England hasn't won an Ashes since 1970. So that's certainly before I was born. So it's definitely before you were born. Rich, I'm not going to assume your age.
No, definitely before I'm born. Definitely.
Are you the youngest, Rich?
Easily.
Bloody hell, must have had hard paper around then.
What's that, mate?
Did you come over on that difficult flight with Aussies?
Didn't sleep.
Well, we're going to get into that flight, no doubt, at some point in the show, so stay with us. We've also got, they've just released the Australian team before we start to record, and we've got who we think is going to be in the England starting lineup as well. So we're going to dive into that and a load more. Another fact, though, before we crack on, England, or Great Britain, has not beaten the Kangaroos since 2006. As an Englishman, Karl, how does that make you feel?
Disappointed. But then again, I have to remember that they did have Australian referees for some Test matches down under. And there were a few contentious decisions that did go our way. And there was definitely a fingertip try on one of them. Yeah. So we'll brush over that.
We had this little bit of a discussion before we started recording, Rich. You know, you put him right on a few moments.
Yeah. The Callum Watkins ankle tap where he fell over his own feet. You know. And he's back in your team for this series, I bet.
Is he back in the team? Is he back in the team?
I've picked Sean Wayne's team, not my team.
It's your team, right.
Anyway.
Right, okay, let's get into tackle one then. I want to kick off. They've announced the officials then. So there's a couple of officials being selected, Karl.
Yeah, how many did Australia bring over on flight? There must have been a few. Yeah, Liam Moore has been selected for the first test, and we've got Australian
Grant Atkins.
Grant Atkins for the second test, and the third test is, well, whoever's performed the best But who decides that? So I don't know.
Well,
hopefully the RFL are deciding who's the best official out of the first 2 fixtures.
Does that seem like... I'm sorry for being a bit cynical, but does that seem like, look, we'll just keep that card in our back pocket and then whichever we need to pull out?
Make a series of it. Well, England's best chance to win is the first game, so they might as well put an English official in charge.
No, we'll win game 3 at Headingley.
By default.
Just
hopefully Australia don't get off the bus.
We'll win game 3 at Headingley. We need to win game 1.
Right, so we're going to come into predictions. Can we save those predictions until the back end of the show? You know, but
he's just got to get it on there just in case he changes his mind.
But we'll see what happens when you start giving him some facts, and we go through this Aussie team. Grant Atkins, I don't think we know a great deal about him, but obviously a very, very highly Aussie referee. Now there has been call for an alternative referee, like a neutral almost, in a Kiwi referee.
Australians have called for a neutral referee. Yeah. Let's get it straight. None of us have called for a neutral referee.
Why would we, Karl?
It's on our turf. It should be English referees throughout the whole series, in my opinion.
I'd probably agree with that. I think there's been that much up and down inconsistency in referees this year. They probably can't choose 3 to do it.
You're going to get 2 games that are going to be refereed differently, aren't you? Having an English ref and an Australian ref.
But don't all referees have their own style though? Do you think it's vastly different?
We have a different style in the UK to Australia completely, don't we?
Yeah, I think for the neutrals it's really good because they're going to see 2 different type of games how the ref, the different ruck speed in Australia, how the ref the second game will be. I think six against galore.
Well, you say it's really good for the neutral. We'll be spitting feathers game 2, mate.
You will be. I'll be sat on my feet up with my 4X.
I've
got custom
corks on your hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little kangaroo sat next to you on the settee.
Yeah.
Looking at the British official, though, Liam Moore, I think he's the best official that we have in this country. I can't disagree with that. I think the grand final, I think he refereed it brilliantly. The fact that nobody even mentioned the referee in the grand final tells you how good a job he did.
We've actually spoke to him a few times, haven't we? And he's always been really, really professional. I don't know if he could ever be bought.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that would. You know what I mean? Like he takes his job that seriously. So yeah, I think he's definitely the right man for the job.
100%. Yeah, true professional.
Yeah.
If you ask some of the Penrith players, though, they might have a slightly different opinion on him.
Well, yeah, because he has got form with Penrith, hasn't he? And obviously, I'm talking about this World Club Challenge just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was no try. So I mean, he got it right in my opinion. Anyway,
so talk us through that, Karl, for the people that are watching this and they don't really know what you're talking about.
The Wigan Penrith game went down to the dying seconds, didn't it? Wigan were just in the lead. Penrith went in at the corner. Some say that they scored.
Some say.
The video referee and the official said that they didn't score.
Well, it went up as a no try.
Yeah.
It went to video referee who said there was insufficient evidence. Yeah. However, on later reflection, you could argue.
What do you think, Rich?
I don't agree with the whole insufficient evidence whole part. I don't agree with it. I think there's enough angles to be able to deal with a situation like that. It's a Stonewall try. It's a try.
It won.
It's a try. All day.
No, it won. It won a try. They didn't score.
Is this how things are going to be like? Do I need to
That's
split
it.
you up?
It's just gone really tense.
Yes, mate. He's a fight or flight, isn't he? And he ain't running away.
No. I want to make it right. So he's so Australian by the time we finish this recording. If he goes to one of the Ashes games, he actually gets booed by the English fans. Right, if that happens, I'll be happy.
Right, that said, there has been call for a semi-neutral, if you could call it that, a New Zealand referee. I don't know if I'm brave enough to say his first name. Maybe you two are, but his name Parkinson.
Mr. Parkinson.
And it's not Michael.
Yeah,
Parkinson. He's only refereed 2 NRLW games, so it's just nonsense.
It's just his fantasy then, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like a New South Wales Cup ref, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like having a French referee. It's not going to happen, is it?
Well, just as in not at the required level, standard, experience.
Well, I don't know how he's got on the flight. How has he got on the flight?
Is he on the flight?
Oh, they'll come over. They're not going to fly him over, especially for Ella.
I don't know.
No, he's not on the flight.
How do you know?
He's not on the flight.
How do you know?
He's not on the flight. Come on, man.
He could be running the water on Saturday. You never know.
Well, he could be running the line.
Yeah.
He could be up in the video.
I think he'll probably not now. He may have been brought over for an experience to see how it is in a big stage setting. in different situations like that. If he's been the top ref in New South Wales Cup, well, I thought he'd have got more women's games.
Are we completely discounting the fact that this guy's going to referee? There's just no chance.
Yeah, I
of
don't
it.
think
No
Not a
chance.
chance.
It'll be Liam Moore game 1, Aussie ref game 2, Liam Moore game 3.
Yeah, 100%. I'll agree with that side.
Yeah. And what a moment in Liam Moore's career.
Yeah.
To get that third, well, getting the first one is amazing, isn't it? But getting that third Ashes test will be incredible for his CV.
If it goes to a decider, that'll be probably pinnacle of his career.
Can you imagine being in the meeting room, right, after 2 games, if it's one game all, and the Aussies are saying that we won because of how it was reffed, and we're saying game 2 was reffed because of how...
Flip a coin.
Yeah, that'll be a tense
rock,
meeting.
paper, scissors, whether wins.
You literally need
But,
balls of steel, don't
Peter
you?
Volandis will be like, yeah, we ain't investing in Super League unless we have an Australian referee on game 3.
But I mean, the thing is, I think in the past we've had to jump through some hoops, haven't we, to get the opportunity to play Australia or to have the World Club Challenge and and that kind of thing. So, do you think there's like a righting of the boat here that actually we're starting to jump through less hoops, like they're not calling the shots like they did?
No, I think the NRL has realised the power of international rugby league. I think that's what the difference is at the moment, and you can see it with the Pacific Championships, massive crowds. Fans have been calling for it for years, haven't they? And they've kind of almost been ignored by the administrators. That's why we haven't had an Ashes series for 20 years. And I think they're realising now that sport is global. Unless we go global, it's not going to thrive.
It's reignited that rivalry, hasn't it? It's been there ever since it started, and it's been missing. It's probably been the only thing that's missing from the game. So having this has been a bit of a build-up, and there's so much talk about it happening, and now it's happening. Just hopefully it lives up to expectations. And
Well, yeah, and it's also precursor to the World Cup next year.
Yeah.
So this is a massive insight into that as well. Let's not get carried away. We'll have a World Cup show when that comes around, and depending on how Rich gets on, we might invite him back, and we might not. Right, let's move on to tackle 2 then. So, a little bit of news released about like the rules, specifically the golden rules. So, Karl, just fill us on.
Yeah, so we've just talked about the officials that are going to be refereeing the games, but there's going to be a bit of a rule change. So, first game can't be a draw. No, sorry, first and second game, there can be a draw. If it's a tie on the third game, it goes down to golden point for the winner. So it'll be 2 halves of 5 minutes each way, golden point to decide the winner. So it's interesting that they brought it in just for game 3. But yeah, it is where it is, and I suppose it's going to stop us having a tied series, which nobody wants really, do they?
Well, no, you're right. Do you think that's the primary aim, or do you think there's also a little bit of we can't have these games going on for hours and hours?
No, I think people, if it's going to be the game everyone expects, people won't want it to stop. But they've made it so there is a winner.
Yeah.
No one's going back. It's not one of them cop-outs, we'll finish on a draw. Someone's going to be happy, someone's going to be unhappy.
I don't want to turn every question, every tackle into this, but I will, right? Is this going to favour the English or the Aussies, or make no difference?
No, I don't think it makes a difference.
So it's pretty neutral.
I suppose so. Australia currently have the Ashes, don't they? Because they were the last team to win it. So I suppose a drawn series, you would say that Australia would retain the Ashes. So actually, it's in our benefit that there's got to be a winner.
Yeah,
in a way, yeah. It's in our benefit that there has to be a winner rather than a drawn series in Australia. I know it's not like cricket where we we didn't get to finish the Test match and all
played
the
half
rest
an
of
hour
it.
today, but we still get it.
Yeah, but because drawn series could happen. It's not completely impossible, is it?
I think in terms of experience-wise, both leagues have it. So but all games go to golden point, England and Australia. I think there's probably more in Australia. Maybe. There was a few this year in Super League, weren't there, golden points?
There were lots of draws, weren't there?
Yeah.
Especially that early doors.
On,
yeah.
So I think they both got that experience. I think it's good to have. But this one will be, is it going to go to the classic after the 5 minutes if it's a draw, what we're doing?
I don't know what happens after the...
Well, it's normally the kick at goal challenge, isn't it? Your conversions.
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, that's news to me. I don't know what happens at that point.
Well,
anyway, there's a show with no facts whatsoever. If it gets to that point,
someone will correct you. I don't think I'll get to that point.
Right, a couple of things, just looking back over history. Sometimes the best way to predict the future is to look at what's happened before. England, of course, know the golden point heartbreak all too well, having lost the World Club World Cup semi-final, 27 points to 26 to Samoa at the Emirates in 2022, courtesy of Stephen Crichton's drop goal. Yeah. So that moment, no doubt, that cut into your heart there, Karl.
Yeah, because we battered them, haven't we, in the earlier fixture in the group stages. We actually run riot over them, and then somehow we turned out that performance in the was it semi-final or quarter-final?
Semi.
Yeah, semi-final, and it was a bit heartbreak, that, wasn't it, really? Difficult one to take, and it took me back to the days when Sean Johnson stepped round us and knocked us out of the semi-final as well. We kind of made, we're kind of getting used to it, aren't we?
Yeah, long live Sean Johnson. Still, every time I see it, it still baffles me.
Yeah, it defies physics, doesn't it? Defies physics.
Hey, don't defy physics, because I know we all love Kevin Sinfield, but he shot out the line, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
The line was a dog leg, and you go up against someone like Sean Johnson. Anyway, it's not Australia, but just
still broke your heart, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Australia back in 2006. Meanwhile, Darren Lockyer scored a winning try in Golden Point to seal a 16 points to 12 victory for the Kangaroos over New Zealand in the Tri Nations final. Again, another one that I remember really, really fondly. Yeah. So everyone will be like practicing. They've got to come up with like a bit of a game plan if it does go to Golden Point in the third test, wouldn't it?
Well, let's talk it out then. Who's going to win if it goes out to Golden Point? Who's got the highest chance of winning? Look at the goal. look at the goal kickers on the Australian side.
Well, I was thinking this on the way.
I might side with you on this one, Rich. To be fair,
what, Nathan Cleary knocking it over from halfway?
You've just got anybody, like you've got Cleary, Walsh can rock up, Staggs in the centres can ping one over from nowhere, Grant's popped a few over from 9. I can't see you get it to a Golden Point stage. Like this, the amount of points that they can score in quick succession, Australia, or just a random 40-20 from nowhere that puts you in a position to kick a drop goal.
Yeah,
I think that's where the edge. But I don't know. See,
for me, in terms like England, I don't question us getting down the pitch.
No.
Right, I think Harry Smith can get us down the pitch with a kick.
If he plays.
Right, if he plays.
Assuming he's playing, yeah.
Assuming. Right. There's a whole backstory behind that in there. However, I do question whether we've got the poise to get it between the sticks. And I don't know who would do that.
No, I mean, George can kick a drop goal, but... Yeah,
we can miss him as well.
We certainly don't have the field goal specialist that Australia have. Got to hand that one.
If it gets to a certain, if Smith's on the pitch, you're looking at Harry Smith. He'd be your go-to.
Yeah, but the trouble with there is you've just mentioned 5 names that kick a drop goal with Australia. Yeah. Where do you mark a shootout to when you've got 5 goal kickers on pitch and we've got 1, or possibly 2? It's pretty easy.
This is where we get a shock this year, and it goes to Alex Walmsley 40 yards back and pings one over his wrong foot to win it.
Have it.
Yeah. Peter Kay,
puts his foot through it.
Forgets it's got to bounce and just whacks it through.
Right, okay, let's move on to tackle 3 then, in particular the ticket sales and attendance. So I've got here the attendance has passed 57,000, which beats the 1994
I spoke to RFL today. It's just gone past 57,000. It's not actually been announced, so we're breaking a bit of exclusive news there, right. Depending on when this goes out. But they are hopeful that sales are going to continue as well. So it's good number, I think that. I mean, it's a shame that Wembley's so big, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you put 57,000 in most stadiums in this country, and it's just going to look solid, jam-packed.
Just thinking that it'd be interesting to see which sections they open. And now it's logistically done. So I think if it's done wrong, it could look pretty empty to people.
Well, you'll get that obligatory, can't even fill the stadium, looks empty, and it's a terrible camera angle.
But don't Wembley, what is it, 90,000 or something?
It's
Wembley.
Huge. It's massive.
And to be honest with you, if you've ever been in the back seats at Wembley, it's like watching a Subbuteo pitch anywhere. You might as well be at home watching it on TV.
Binoculars out.
Yeah, it's a terrible view from up the top end.
So I think they've actually played it quite safe, haven't they? In that the other stadiums in the heartlands where they 100% knew they were kind of going to fill up, and then Wembley they've got an almost unlimited capacity and just let the tickets just keep trickling in as the excitement builds.
Do you think they've played it right, actually, having Headingley as the third game? From an English perspective and trying to create a fortress and potentially might be able to win a game. I think Headingley's right. But do you think if it would have been a bigger stadium, do you think we'd have sold more tickets?
I think if you switch Headingley and Wembley over, so you make it a Fortress first game, England win the first one, I think you sell a lot more at Wembley. Because if it goes 1-1, people are going, whoa. Whereas now I think Headingley's already sold out, is it?
Yeah,
It's sold out straight away. So there's nobody else that, if they were questioning going, can go now.
No, I know people who are trying to get older tickets for Headingley and just got no chance.
But the same token, if it doesn't go 1-1, and the Aussies are two games up.
Yeah, and then do you risk nobody turning up at Wembley?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's quite good.
you know. So no, I think they've done it right. I think they were right in deciding the stadiums relatively early, didn't they? So everyone could plan.
Still great numbers. I think it's better numbers than what people expected to begin with.
Yeah, 100%.
I reckon I won't be surprised if it gets to 60 by Saturday.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a record Ashes crowd anyway. Yeah, and if we can get to 60, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? If I were RFL, I'd be like going around schools and just try to get in as many, a couple thousand extra.
I think I remember where I saw it. They've given a chunk to the NHS workers.
Oh, that's good. They
Um,
didn't give any to my wife though, and she works for NHS. So.
so now it won't go to your wife. You'll be flogging it somewhere.
Yeah, he'd be raffling it
Back
off
in
on
Bradford,
the channel.
yeah.
Come on, shit, lads. Right, okay, let's get into the meat and veg of this then. So the Aussies have released their starting lineup. Which are you shocked with that?
No.
Do you think they're confident enough to just release it and just do what you want with it?
Well, I'll talk me through the week. I spoke to Rich at the beginning of the week. I said, send me your Australian team lineup, what you think it's going to be. Right, and I'll be honest with you, he's either on the phone to Kevin Walters, right, or he watches so much NRL, he just 100% knew it, and he got it bang on pretty much. I think there was one player in a slightly
Positional change,
different position. Other than that, he got it bang on. But yeah, the announcement of so Australia always announce their teams on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
don't
always
they?
do it. Yeah.
It's exactly the same in the NRL, and it works because idiots like me and you who do podcasts and television companies and all the rest of them, they get to talk about the team for the up-and-coming game, whereas in England, we don't release them till Thursday. I think England are sticking to that, and Sean Wayne's not going to release his team till Thursday, so, yeah.
I suppose it's his prerogative to hold on to his team until the last moment, but do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Or
I think if you're that confident, you should have released it by now.
I think his thinking is, if he knows his team, then what is it to hold back on? He had his dropouts from beforehand when Xavier Coates and Zach Lomas dropped out. I think he's pretty much had this nailed in the back of his mind, and nothing's changed him over the last couple of weeks.
There was a bit of discussion over whether Reece Walsh would be starting, wouldn't he? But I don't think that was ever in doubt, really, was it?
No.
I think it was just a bit of smoke and mirrors, and you know what I mean, a bit of a non-story, really. Obviously, the best player right now is going to be in the starting lineup, isn't it?
I think the only thing that would have stopped him getting a little bit of, getting picked was his off-field antics that he's had this year.
Drinking the toilet water.
But I think, I think what's being good there, it's all been addressed, and it probably switched into a positive man. It was addressed when they won the grand final. It was brought up in the press conference after.
Yeah.
So I think if you go off the playoff series with the NRL, he was a must stand out. He was an informed player in that, so he had to be in the team. Right,
let's run through this team then, and then you can highlight which one you got wrong.
Yeah.
Or didn't choose.
I didn't even
or
get one
whatever.
wrong. It was just I had my two props the wrong way around.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, and that's all it was, left and right, yeah.
Right, brilliant. Okay, so in at number one, Carl, do you want to run through them, or do you want me to run through them?
You through right, okay, so from
in number one, then Reece Walsh of Brisbane, Mark N for in the centres.
Nongane Tuasi.
Good lad.
Right, and then number three, Katoni Staggs, for Shibasaki. Josh Adokar, number 5.
The Fox.
Fox. He's been a bit cold, hasn't he, this year? Is he?
Back in the mix.
Back in the mix, though.
Yeah, back in the mix.
Cameron Munster, number 6. Nathan Cleary, number 7. Patrick Carrigan, number 8. Harry Grant, number 9. Farsa Malewu. Angus Crichton and Hudson Young in the second row. And then Aseo Yo as loose forward, and also the captain on the bench, Tom Jayden. Lindsay Collins, whoever she is. Ruben Cotter and Keone
Kalamatangi.
Okay, him on the bench. So Rich, walk us through it then. What do you think the strengths are? What do you think? Okay, let's cross the bark in it. Strengths, but I don't just want to sit here and go, "This is amazing," start crying and just give up on everything.
No, I think for me, he's picked his most informed team. I think the only one in there, as you just mentioned, with Adakar, I think if you throw Xavier Coates in there, but obviously he picked up an Achilles injury. Everybody else in there is pretty much the informed team. You just look across the park, it's scary. Just anybody out of anywhere can pull something off. And then if you look at the players who aren't picked as well, you've got Dylan Edwards, who has been the Australia fullback for the last couple of years, and probably again up there, Mitch Moses, who I'd quite happily take on in an England team. If we've seen before, if it's like a distant family member who's English, but he doesn't get over. But then again, you just look at it; there's just strike across the park. Now England have gone big in what they have in their pack, but I can't see anything. Just points everywhere.
So who's the obligatory pantomime villain then in this squad? Do you think, Rich?
It'll be Walsh. There'll be something will happen this series where
he just shows his class, his speed.
Shows his class, and he'll do something.
I was hoping you were going to say like he'll do something this series, like come out of a nightclub and have a fight with somebody outside a kebab house. And
but you know what? He's got that side in him.
Yeah, no, he does that.
You wouldn't be surprised if something comes up out of it, especially where maybe Everton won. So a load of scouts will get hold of him, put him in the back of a van and drive him somewhere or something. He'll end up playing up front for Everton, him and Jack Grealish on the wings or something like that. But there'll be him, I think. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of talk around him. Cleary, obviously, he's over there. He's always in the spotlight. But yeah, Walsh would be the standout. I think he's had that all year. So it'd be interesting. If you look at all the interviews, he's really looking forward to working under Kevin Walters again. Obviously, they had a Brisbane link before, so they've been reunited. So it'd be interesting to see what form he gets out of him.
I'm looking forward to watching Nongane Tawasi.
Yeah, he's freaking nature.
Are you surprised he's been selected? Because he announced, didn't he, earlier on in the year that he's going back to rugby union next year. I almost thought they might snub him and not pick him because of that.
I think they give him a little bit of an ultimatum because obviously the Australia squad rugby union side got selected.
Yeah,
which he was still eligible for that to go for. And I think they've said, look, if you make a decision you want to come with us, we'll pick you. If you're in two minds, then we'll kind of go without you.
Right, yeah.
But
because he is going, isn't he? He's leaving the Roosters at the end of next season.
Yeah, he's definitely gone. That's all been confirmed. But you look at his highlights reel this year.
It's bloody magical.
How he does some of the stuff, I don't know. Yeah, I think you could practice that in your back garden for.
And to think at the start of the season he wasn't in that Roosters team, was he? He was still reserves at the start of the year. While he found his feet.
Yeah, there's been a few union converts who've gone across the NRL that haven't quite made it. They never even get mentioned. There was one at Gold Coast. I can't actually quite remember his name. He's gone this year. I think he's made 2 appearances and then he's gone back to rugby union now. But he's the one who's actually stuck at it and said, "I want a chance at this." And he stuck in. He's lit the place up.
Yeah, it's been absolute quality.
Yeah. Rich, just looking at this team, then, is there a side that you think they'll favour? Is there a particular side or a particular style that you think we can expect from the Aussies?
I think it massively depends on the weather. I think there's going to be one thing that benefits the English, it will be the weather. If it comes to a bit of a dogfight, but I still think they'll throw the ball around. I think it'll be off the cuff.
And the problem, I suppose, another issue with that with the weather, it might be greasy, it might be slippy, but actually the pitches tend to hold up well. Headingley is brilliant. The Everton is brand new, so you'd expect that to really hold up well. And Wembley, is like a carpet as well. Yeah. So it's not going to become a mud bath, is it?
Nah, it's probably going back to joking aside is how it's reffed, because the NRL is significantly faster than the English Super League. If it's slowed down, which I probably think it will be in the first game, it can make a massive difference because all this is off second phase of quick play of the balls, going and behind the ruck. If that's stopped, then it's kind of, right, have we got a plan B? And I think if England can rustle a few feathers early doors and send them to a plan B, that's where they'll catch them.
I suppose the only chance we have here is that this team don't quite gel, but a lot of them have played Origin together, haven't they? That's the bloody trouble with it. Although we have 4 debutants in this team.
Yeah,
I mean, looking at the NRL, then it's become more expansive, hasn't it, in the last couple of years?
Yeah.
Do you think that's where we're falling behind, or do you think it's just it's just a contrast of the two styles these days.
I think it's just a contrast of how they play. Obviously, hopefully we're getting to a point where we can catch them up a little bit with the way we go now.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the way it's going. I mean, if you look at that squad, there's nobody in that team that was in the 2017 game where they won 6-0. There's nobody in that. It's a brand new team. I think if you'd have gone to the 2021, there was a few people who were still eligible to play, like Cam Smith. He was still playing around 2020, so he missed out on another Ashes. So this team is completely different. Brand new, young team, and it's just the only downfall is, can they gel together? How long they had? They've had a little less. They've had the long travel. Horrible flight.
Horrible flight that didn't arrive in UK till late in the evening, and
in the peasant class, they
were in business class.
Treated them with no respect whatsoever. No, I don't think they'll use that as an excuse.
Have we put them up in a travel lodge or what? Have we?
Back of here.
I'm hoping they're in them little pods in Piccadilly, the little Japanese
summer pod
cabinet things. But I saw a meme before we started recording that in the past when the Aussies used to sail to the UK, it'd take 40 days. Like, can you imagine prepping for an Ashes series and it takes 40 days just to get here? Like, what training are you doing on ship?
Rule me out. Travel sick.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like 2 months of travel, over 2 months of travel, 2.5 months of travel just to come and play a series. Like, what are they doing for the rest of their life?
That is absolutely mental.
Yeah, it's crazy times. Right, can we just flip flat over?
No, because you've told us all the positives about this Australian team, which you've listed many.
Yeah.
If England are to break them down, is there any weaknesses in this side?
I think there is. I think it depends who you've put in your England team. But
I heard on another podcast actually they were saying that the Brisbane defence this year was it like ranked 20th?
Yeah, it wasn't the best, and they've got obviously two
and there's
Brisbane
quite
centres.
a few Brisbane players in that team. So
it's
I think if you go
1, 2, 3,
if they're going to go somewhere, I think if they go Shibasaki and Adokar hasn't wingers.
Yeah, his defence has never been incredible, has it?
But as a centre, it'd be interesting to see how he goes. Obviously, he's made his breakthrough this year. He's done, but then again, if you look at it, he's done everything this year. He's played State of Origin, he's won a grand final. This is going to be a little bit different if he's at Headingley.
Brisbane players there. Interestingly, the two centres, the fullback, one of the props is Brisbane. So there's going to be a side which is going to be like heavy Brisbane.
Yeah.
If the defence is, it doesn't necessarily mean that those players are the weak links in Brisbane, does it?
England
could be a factor.
England need to ruffle some feathers.
Yeah.
I think the back row in Crichton and Young, they've both got that little bit about them where they can lose a red. So if you send Bateman somewhere there he's English through and through, he'll run through a brick wall for his country. Got a few screws loose, If you're not Sean Wayne and saying go and rustle a few feathers, Hudson Young's got it. He'll lose it. Crichton's got something. One of them gets a card, it's a completely different game.
Well, is this where we've possibly made a mistake of not picking Jake Connor? Go on, put the elephant in the room.
I'd have played him. I think he'd definitely rustle some feathers, 100%. But then again, it's how you going to take him upsetting a couple of people, which then could potentially go the other way, and they put the foot on the throat and absolutely hammer us. Yeah. And he loses his head. He had a solid season this year. He didn't once lose his head. So, would he be in your squad?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I said that from the start.
I'd have had him as well, but
anyway,
I'm not in the English side.
No, we're not picking the team, are we? So,
one thing I would probably change is obviously they've gone Tom Dearden on the bench. Now he has played a little. He's played halfback all year. He's played a little bit of 9 for Australia in the last couple of years. He's not going to come on in the halves unless there's an injury. So he's going to be the 9 replacement. So if you go with that, it's very similar to what England do, where they throw Mikey Lewis on the bench as a 14 type of thing. But with Mitch Moses, I don't know, he's another game winner. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to game 3.
And they change it up.
Yeah, if Cleary and Munster, so if it's 1-1, for example, Cleary and Munster are still playing, you throw Mitch Moses on the bench just for that golden point situation.
Well, Australia have done this before in international matches, haven't they? Sometimes the team they start game 1 with, it ends up being quite different to what they finish game 3 with, whereas England, I don't think we don't have as much strength in depth, do we?
No.
We kind of settle with starting 13 and the same 4 subs. It tends not to change too much, ours.
It was just usually injury, isn't it? I remember, think back when they were in Australia and they were flying Ash Hanley over, like mid, World Cup or whatever, because they were short on wingers, weren't they, because of the injuries and what have you.
I think injuries are the only thing that'll play a part in that. I mean, if Kevin Walters could have done, he'd have gone a big bench, so lose Tom Dayton and put another forward on the bench. But you lose that. It's a little bit of protection, because if you look at it, Harry Grant can play 80 minutes. Isaiah Yeo can play 80 minutes. Everyone can play 80 minutes roughly, where Tim Dayton could cover. Yeah. But it's just a little bit if someone goes down. So that's what we kind of look at, mixing things up. Otherwise, I think he would have gone big to match it, but it's a big enough bench.
Well, let's flick over to the England squad then. We're going to talk, Karl, about your anticipated starting lineup in a minute. But what I will say straight away is, like you said, that's a brand new, fresh. There's 4 debutants that we know about as well in the Australian squad. As almost an opposing opposite to that, we've got age and experience, let's call it, in the England squad. And I'm wondering, you're saying if this game's fast, they're hitting behind the ruck, and are some of these aging players, I'm talking about the likes of Alex Walmsley, are they? I mean, he's looking gassed sometimes playing Super League. So I don't know how that's going to work out if they are allowed to play super hot like that. So anyway, Karl, run through it then.
Well, a bit nervous now he's mentioned that.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at Alex Walmsley. I think Mike Meakin will be fine. John Bateman, is he's getting on a little bit as well.
Same age as me. I know younger than me.
Is that?
You're nowhere near
he's looking at
international side, so...
No, when I played at Dudley Hill, he played the year below.
All right.
He was that good, he played up into our age group. And still tore it apart. No comparison, though.
Right, Karl, hit us then. What have you gone for? What do you expect?
Well, it's not what. This isn't the England. I want to firmly say this. This isn't the English team I would have picked, but I think I'm trying to guess what Sean Wayne's picking here. And
talk to us about the thinking behind the thinking. Then, why have you?
Right, George Williams is in the team. He's already said he's in the team. He's captain. Right, his first name on the sheet. He says it. John Bateman's got credits in the bank, which basically means he's played.
It doesn't matter what the media's saying.
It's his favourite phrase, credit in the bank.
Yeah, I'm picking him anyway. It doesn't matter what's happened. He's getting picked. I think Jack Welsby's always going to start. Herbie Farnworth, he's our gun player, isn't he? He's arguably one of the
so he's going to pick him.
One of the strike players. Yeah. So he's in the team automatically, and then
hasn't played for 4 months. But
we were always going to pick him.
Yeah,
100%. He was always going to be picked in that team.
Mind you could have had Joe Wardle in there. Oh, you've got Jake Wardle. Keep saying Joe.
Jake Wardle's in. So I've gone. This is what I think he's going to pick, or something similar. Welsby at fullback. Think he was always going to get picked. Dom Young. I'm not 100% sure on Dom Young. He hasn't had the best season in the NRL, but again, he's another player that has played well for England in the past. Wardle, I think, has been absolutely brilliant, so he's always going to get in there. I think he's going to pick Joe Burgess.
He's got to.
Yeah, he had a great grand final. I think he'll go with Burgess. George Williams, like I said, he's already in. Harry Smith, I expect him to pick Harry Smith just because that's the halfback pairing that he favours traditionally, what he's gone with in the past. And then, I mean, the forwards could be a right mix-up, but I've put Alex Walmsley in. Jez Litton, I think, has earned that shirt.
Best English 9 at the minute.
Yeah, he's Mike McMeekin, I think, will be in there. John Bateman, as I've already said. Kai Pearce-Paul, yeah, and I think he might pick Smithers at loose forward, but could be a toss-up. He could pick Callum Watkins. I
think Morgan Knowles will be in there.
Yeah. So the bench, I reckon he's going to put Mikey on the bench because possibly to inject a bit of pace into the second half. He might bring him on at hooker, which I don't think is the right decision, but that's what he's done in the past. Matty Lees, another forward with Owen Trout and Morgan Knowles on the bench. I don't think he'll pick Johnston, Aledzki, AJ Brimson. I don't think he's going to pick him.
Not the first test, I don't think.
I would have picked him. Harry Newman and Ethan Havard are all going to miss out, I think.
And Callum Watkins.
But like I say, we're 2 days away from the team being announced, so...
Newman's an interesting one. 'Cause he hasn't said. I think if Ash Hanley's fit, Hanley walks into that and Newman's not picked.
Yeah, but Newman has had a decent season, hasn't he? And he has matured. And another point I'll make, when Wayne had him for the Samoa Test series the other year, he probably got the best out of Harry Newman, and he had a really good series. You're actually one of the standout players that series.
I think Sean Wayne mentioned it as well. Brimson, wouldn't be surprised if he's on his bench, just for the pure fact he can play so many positions.
Right, okay, so if he puts AJ on the bench, do you reckon he's going to drop Mikey Lewis and we won't even see him in starting 17?
I reckon he'll start him.
You reckon he'll start him?
I reckon Lewis and Williams start.
So you reckon we're all guessing Sean Wayne wrong?
He's got, I don't know, he's an hard character to judge, isn't he? But if you look at his interviews, he's admitted that Mike Lewis has definitely changed his mind. I think one thing that let Lewis down was his kicking game. He's taken over as prime kicker for KR this year, taken him all the way to win a comp. Man at match in a grand final. But then again, he hadn't picked Jake on his man of steel. So
well, the justification for picking Harry Smith by Chris Hill was that he thinks that Mikey Lewis and George Williams may be too similar in their style of play. Yeah. Both running halves, and therefore, do they nullify each other? I don't know if they bring anything by working together, but having two people who got that ability. Whereas Harry Smith then is a bit of a contrasting role, isn't he? And he can kick for position. He's metronome, isn't he? He'll do what you tell him to do over and over and over. So, anyway, it will be seen. So,
would you go on AJ Brimson and Mikey Lewis in halfbacks?
No. I think that's
too dangerous.
Yeah, I think if you need somebody who just literally says you need a half who just gives Herbie Farmer the ball, give him it early and say do your thing. I think if you've got them two off the cuff, their first thing is I'm running. Then I'm do it. Give him the ball and just watch what he does.
You also need halfbacks that can defend, don't you?
We know George Williams can defend.
Yeah, he can bang, can't it? Harry?
Yeah, yeah. No, he's not a bad defender, but he's not.
I think he's protected at Wigan.
He is very much protected. There was a loaded question. I think he's protected at Wigan. Yeah. And I think he does. Like he'll get involved and do like a little bit of ragging around and stuff like that. But I don't think he's ever really put on the spot. And when he is, I don't think he performs particularly well like that. And I don't think he will on this stage.
No. George is in there for his NRL experience, I think, in that half position. I think if you look back at 2017 again, Walmsley was there, Bateman was there. Was George Williams there?
Yes, mate. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So that's the three. So there's a little bit of...
Yeah, I think I wasn't sure when Bateman got selected, but at the same time, there's a lot of players that haven't played against Australia, and I kind of see why he's put Bateman in there now, just to have that experience in that team.
Yeah.
And like I say, I hope Bateman, we know Bateman's going to get fired up, and I just hope he goes mix it up.
I think that's what he's calling him for. I mean, I listened to James Graham's podcast, and he was saying if there's one person he wants to be stood next to singing a national anthem, it's John Bateman.
Really?
Yeah, he said there'd be nobody else stood next to him because he's literally just going to do everything for the team. So, be interesting. Like I say, he hasn't had the best year, Bateman. The Cowboys didn't have the best year themselves. No. But, again, I think somebody else did it. When has John Bateman had a bad game for England? I don't think he has.
Well, do they know him though? You know what I mean? Because he does play under, and they'll have played him throughout the season and for the last few seasons. Is he a bit of a known entity to these Aussie players?
He'll be spotted out. I think they'll be.
But you can't account for everybody, can you? They must be looking, because I was thinking when he was talking about Michael Lewis getting introduced off the bench. Let's say if he is on the bench, and what that does to the Aussies, playing style or defence, because they've got to account for him, haven't they? Does that change him? But they can't.
I don't like bringing Mikey on front bench though, because they're going to know for 30 minutes, right? He's the spot man. We've got to keep an eye on him for the next 30 minutes. So you give him 80 minutes, which he can play quite easily. At some point in that game, he's going to find a little.
He grows.
He's going to find a little gap and spring a surprise, and that's why he needs to start, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's all speculation at the minute. However, as we sit here now, 2 days, we're expecting the England squad to be announced. Is that right?
It usually comes out on a Thursday, doesn't it? So I think that's when we're expecting it. Is there anybody do you agree with that? Is there anybody you would have changed?
I think you're right in Dom Young. But again, I think he's always played well for England. He hasn't
had a great season.
He had that switch back to Newcastle. I think he's come out and explained exactly what he's done. They're going to go, I want tall wingers who can catch a ball above their head, because the Australian winger. I think he picked that thinking that Xavier Coates would be on the other wing because he'd be a spot man.
Yeah.
But he's done thinking behind. That's why I think definitely Burgess will be in there. I mean, if you look at what he did in like you said, the grand final, the ball's above his head. Dom Young, I don't know. Tom Johnson's had a few unlucky injuries, so I think he's right in Dom Young. I don't know. I won't be surprised throwing a curveball in there is if you see no halfback on the bench. You see, especially the first one, where we go to bully him, if England do go to bully him, they throw an extra forward on the bench, maybe Havard or Watkins. And if Jesletton needs a breather, Morgan Smithies goes to 9. Because he's done it for Saints.
All right.
He's played a little bit of hooker. And if you've got an extra middle on the bench, it firms us up a little bit in the middle. If conditions are a little bit, if it's raining, if it's minging.
It's a shame Victor Radley ain't played, isn't it? When I look at that team, I just like, he's the little sprinkling on top that I wish was there.
I think if Radley plays, there's no Bateman.
Yeah,
because
correct. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Radley gives you what Bateman does in probably a little bit more clinical, higher end. But yeah, Bradley adds a different dimension to that. I think Morgan Knowles will start over Smithies. I think Smithies will go off the bench.
Right.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that. And I think Morgan Knowles is going to have a belting series. I think just because of the style of him, and he's going to go hunting, innit?
Yeah.
So
I like the fact of Walmsley. I think if anything, he's an old school. He takes 4 or 5 bodies. If we get an offload, a second phase, it sucks us in. And I'm excited to see Owen Trout. I think he's been standout at League the last couple of seasons, and he never takes a step back.
I can see Owen Trout having a proper
old
belting
ding-dong.
season. Yeah, I can. That year that Burgess played for Great Britain, and he just like all of a sudden lit up the world stage.
Do you reckon Owen Trout to NRL next year then?
Well, there's already talk of it. There's already talk of
I
it.
think the interesting one out of the squad is in December.
Yeah.
That was one for me. But again, if he's picked, he hasn't picked it
He
on.
fell off though, didn't he?
Yeah, but he hasn't picked it on form, has he? It don't make a difference. He said.
Yeah.
Surely he's got credit in the bank.
Well, he's another one who was rumoured you think his first 10 games were unreal.
Yeah.
Everyone's he's going to the NRL. He signs a big deal at Wigan. As he does, he take the foot off the gas. But I think he would have had a point to prove. But I think exactly what Super League teams have done is worked him out. Just put 3 defenders on him.
Well, they changed how he played as well, didn't they? They started playing in big minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas the year before, he used to come off the bench and
just cause havoc.
Yeah, like they used to give him like 25 minutes and like, here you go run at these tired defenders.
Just the way he runs as well. It's just all elbows and knees everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. Again, he's another young one. So they've tried to get a fine mix here of experience and.
I think my issue with Alex Worms, and I've said this a couple of times this year, is he's making silly mistakes now. He's dropping the ball
straight off. Yeah.
Silly first tackle under the sticks, and he's dropping the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I don't know what that is. Whether it's age, fatigue, I don't know. I've no idea. But I don't like the fact that might be happening on an international scale.
I don't think he'll do 80 minutes though, will he?
No, he's definitely
he's out there just to give 20, 30 minutes. Aussie bashing.
What's the odds on Walmsley dropping his first ball called now you've said that?
It might happen. It might happen.
You're going to be sat next to me at game, so if he does do that, I'm going to punch you in the arm.
Owen Trout, if he wasn't starting, can you remember when Adrian Morley got sent off after 12 seconds?
Yes, we talk about it all the time.
Owen Trout's definitely got that in him as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because he wants to go, he doesn't want to go whack someone. So I think the first test, there'll be cards.
I hope so. I hope somebody gets hold of Reece Walsh and just bends him in half.
I wanted that'll take us nicely on to tackle 6, right? Mate, good effort getting hold of him. Like lots of people are trying week in, week out, and they're struggling. I want to come on to our predictions now. Let's just keep our powder dry for a minute. Don't tell us what your results are. But what do we think the first 10 minutes are going to be like?
I think it's going to be absolute havoc. Yeah. You know how like Super League and NRL to some respects it's been cleaned up a lot, hasn't it? And there's like you can't really throw a punch. No.
You can't Marley it.
Yeah,
we hope so.
We couldn't Marley it back then.
No, but I even think Sean Wayne will be saying to him just like
get into him.
Yeah, get into him, lads. Can you imagine what the England team are going to be? How hyped up they are going to be in a Sean Wayne dressing room coming out.
Just look at you.
To play an Ashes. Like, I'm like pumped up now. So can you imagine what the players are going to be like that first 10, 15 minutes?
But on the
Well,
other,
yes, I can imagine, but they do need to keep their head. They need to keep their head. We saw a game quite recently, didn't we?
I want it to be like first 15 minutes, like, yeah, welcome to England, lads.
Well, but that's got to be done in like a sensible way, hasn't it? Like with big hits. All right, you know, toe the line, but we can't cross the line because we certainly can't beat him with a man off the pitch.
I don't think it'll. Hopefully it doesn't get. Hopefully just Liam Moore just put your blinkers on for the first 15 minutes. Just let him have a little bit, you know, because everyone's been anticipating this for so long. You know what I mean?
Just let him get at it.
Do you think there'll be a player there with the ball's up in the air and he goes, "Shit, it's me, it's me"?
I wouldn't be surprised, but imagine how demoralising it'd be. England go full on, spunk the load, first 15 minutes, if I can say that.
Yeah, of course you can.
First 15 minutes, and Aussies are just like, come on, what's this? You know, Reece Walsh chip over the top, first touch at ball, he scores on the sticks, everyone goes quiet. You're hoping, England are hoping it stays close.
Who does this Ashes series mean more to, Australia or England?
England.
Yeah, 100% it means more to England. Australia, the pinnacle of your career in Australia is playing State of Origin. It ain't playing Test match rugby for Australia anymore.
No.
I hope that they've come over here. They're treating it as a bit of an holiday. They're not really expecting what they're going to get thrown at them. Because, I mean, you've only got to look at all the Aussie podcasts, all the Aussie pundits.
It's 3-0, isn't it?
Mate, they are running us down big time. And I hope that we just get stuck into them. Like I say, he's absolutely chucking it down. Reece Walsh's eyeliner's running into his eyes. He can't see. He gets an eye infection. He has to go off. Clavy's not expecting it. Someone gives him a stiff arm. And I just hope it goes off. It's an Ashes series. Why not?
You've been thinking of that. The Reece Walsh. First 15 minutes, he's going to be brutal, I think.
We'd expect it.
We're
we need it to
in
be
press
we
box.
need
We're in press box, mate. We usually have to behave in press box.
Yeah, we bang it table down. I hope it lives up to expectations. I just hope it's not. I hope it doesn't. You know, everyone's like a lead balloon; it just goes flat.
Because the other thing as well, someone like takes this mega drive in, you know, and it's going to work either way. Bang, concussion. Another player off the pitch. You know what I mean? It's
right, here's one for you. You're the captain, so you're England captain. So you're George Williams. You win the toss. Yeah, I'm giving you kick it.
Well, it's funny you say that because I've said Karl's the biggest tosser I know.
Yeah. You're kicking.
Kick to them, yeah.
I can tell you're a halfback. So you're kicking and going to the wing because you're not making that first tackle. Oh, you're going down there.
Yeah, count me in.
I tell you what, just this is completely off track. However, we noticed something. You know the grand final. A couple of weekends ago now, is it? Or last weekend, was it? When was it?
No, 2 weekends.
2 weekends ago.
Just like a bloody.
That's how long you've been editing that video, mate.
And Wigan was setting up. No, Hull KR was setting up on their left wing differently, weren't they?
They were playing Mikey Lewis right in the corner, and Joe Burgess was in the half-back position, catching the ball.
That's quite a common thing.
Is it?
Yeah. You think that just because of it, because of the kicking styles now, if that goes high, your wingers are used to catching high balls under pressure all the time. And what you don't want is that first kick of the game is Mike Lewis catching something and then getting whacked straight away. You know, so that's
there's a little bit of protection for Mikey Lewis, but also
it doesn't happen as much, but it is quite a common.
It's
thing.
an option.
Yeah, it's quite a common thing.
Right, who's going to take it off back fence first drive then for Australia?
It'd be big Tino, won't it? You don't step down to anybody. That'll be elbows up, knees up. That.
Who do you reckon? Who do you reckon's going to take first hit up for England?
Matt Meakin.
Yeah, I'd like to see Matt Meakin.
I think he's got that little bit about him. For how well spoken he is, he's got that little rough edge on him.
Yeah,
is that the big battle then, Tino?
I think it will.
Meakin.
Well, again, it depends who he plays. Like we know Tino's starting, but it depends. It wouldn't be surprised if Morgan knows if he starts, he'll go flying. He'll go looking at someone. So there'll be a lot of one-on-one battles.
Halifax lad.
Yeah. bit
bred into him.
Bateman, Hudson Young. That'll be a battle.
Yeah. Is there a history there?
They've always a little bit of squabble. They both don't know when to shut their mouths. They both run their mouths. So.
But you can't understand.
Who do you think's going to win the sledging battle? Because we always get that in Ashes.
If Jake Connor's there, we win it.
Yeah.
Do you know who does it in a slightly different way? Adakar. He's full of arrogance and bloody. You know what I mean?
Because he's rapid.
I know he's
rapid.
Run. Who's the fastest on this pitch?
Yeah,
it's got to be Josh. Isn't it?
No, for England.
Well, I'm just saying on the pitch. So
Dom Young. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, Dom Young can move. Can't
Fairby Farmer's got 2 hamstrings that still work. But, I don't know. With Dom Young, you got to be Dom Young.
Yeah, it's got to be Dom Young.
Yeah, Dom Young.
He doesn't trip over his own lace if he gets through, does he?
Walsh is quick.
Yeah,
he's rapid. But I don't know about if we're going 100 metres. You think you're going Adakar.
Yeah,
but I think that's the difference. It's just flair.
Do you think we should have that? Like, at some point between the 3 games, there should just be like a
come on,
you know what I mean? Like a sprint off.
Imagine that. You come over for the Ashes.
No.
Did 100-metre sprint. He pulls his hammy. Done.
I think
you'll be begging for that. No, you'll be there with shotgun out with pellet going through his knees.
I think they should. I think they should have to do a proper full tour and like send them to Workington,
just line it up,
then Barrow.
Oh no. Won't be coming on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. Do you remember that game that New Zealand played in World Cup at? That were at Workington.
Yeah, Workington
against Scotland. That was a great leveller, wasn't it?
Pitched it down with rain. It was freezing cold. Yeah.
Playing against a League One side.
Pretty
much, wasn't it? Yeah.
Had the occasional one in there. Yeah.
Right, we've got 2 predictions here each. Okay, so the first one being the first game, the first test on Saturday. What do we think the result is going to be? Then we need another prediction for the overall series, and then we'll see if that changes as time goes on. So now is the time to nail your colours to the mast. And
who's going first, the plastic Aussie or me?
Nah, go on. You've got the biggest bollocks from this. Come on.
England win game 1, 86.
8-6.
Yeah.
How have we got that score?
I just think it's going to be really close.
A penalty and a try.
I think it's going to be
penalty converted try.
Yeah.
Australia only scoring 1 try.
Yeah.
You're off your teeth.
It depends whether you're like asking me my prediction or what I want to win, but you're not catching me on camera back in Australia.
Right.
I'll never live it down. So England to win, yeah. I mean the score doesn't matter, but England to win.
Rich?
22-8, Australia.
Ooh, it's a fair.
Anyway, pack up your cans of 4X, get your hat on, take your plastic kangaroo here and off you go.
Shrimp on Barbie on Saturday.
But it's interesting. I mean, it's not a whitewash, is it? It's competitive. It sounds like you've got it down as a competitive game, which some people haven't, have they? It's like some people are like, I don't stand a chance.
Nobody in the whole of Australia has it down as a competitive game. Everybody thinks they're just going to walk it, which completely plays to our advantage.
I've got 2. Yeah, the only thing. I've got 2 in the back of my mind. I've got 2 things. There could be one where it's a blowout. If they get Wembley's a big old place. If they throw the ball around like we know they can, I reckon there could be 40, 50 points in there, which I don't want. Oof. But no, I think it'll be. I think Saturday will be 60 minutes of pure battle. I think it'll be 10-8, 8 all around 60-minute mark, and then Australia have just got that ability to go back to back. Like you've got Cleary, we mentioned before. Yeah. Cleary, Grant, Munster, either a 40-20 one-on-one strip that they do every single week in, week out, and they just score back to back. And I think that's the test for England. If Australia go back to back, what they're throwing back, because you're only back in England score 8 points. So if they go back to back, that's 12. You're screwed already. You know?
Yeah.
Who would you try to score? Where's your tries coming from?
Herbie or Mikey.
Okay. I'll agree with you there.
So then England are going to win.
You wouldn't try.
Right, so for my predictions there, so we're doing the series.
3-0.
So, 3, which is going 3-0. Not even questioning it.
2-1 England.
2-1 England?
I think they'll win. I think they'll win. Hang on a minute. Start throwing yourself under the bus here. Like,
no, I'm not throwing yourself. It's just how you're just so, like cocksure about it.
Well, there's no way. I'm telling you now. There's no way. I'm going on public record saying that Australia are going to beat us in Ashes.
No, I'm not saying that. But
like, my dad will disown me.
Right.
I won't be allowed back up Bradford again.
Bradford. Yeah.
Do you know them stats? Did you read at the beginning of that podcast? Just give him them again.
I remember I got this excited though. Last time I went to England with Australia,
1970.
it was the opener of the World Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like none of us were born, Carl.
I was dead excited for that Test series, and then after I saw Greg Inglis go over under post, I was like, I've seen this result before somewhere.
I can't remember who it was. Someone was saying that Cary Grant's not Cam Smith, Reece Walsh and Billy
Slater.
Because if you look at that, you think, yeah, all right, they've done it consistently for a thing.
Yeah, I look at our team and I go, well, we ain't got Victor Radley anymore. Where's Sam Burgess? James Graham's not there anymore. It's like,
can we bring Sam Burgess back out of retirement for once?
yeah, he'd take first drive off at fence, wouldn't he?
Yeah, 100% he would. Wouldn't back down. Right, so for me, I'm going to go an England win for the first Test, especially if the weather's shit. I've not even looked at the weather yet. We should look at that, but I think it's going to be a narrow win.
Have they still got them sprinklers on roof at Wembley?
We need to turn them on. We'll just get a lot of water.
Turn them on now, yeah.
But these chemtrail things that people are talking about, let's get them fired up for the weekend. And then in terms of like overall, I do think I'm going to say I think it's going to be 2-1 to Australia. I do think that, but by fuck, I want England to win more than anything. I really do. Right, okay.
we having a forfeit for this, by the way?
Oh yeah, we should have a little bit of a forfeit here. Yeah. So what we're going to say, lads? Whoever wins, whoever loses.
So if it's 2-0, are you going to the Headingley game?
I'm hoping to, mate.
So if it's 2-0 to Australia by Headingley, you wear a full Aussie kit to go to the game.
Complete with cork hat and inflatable kangaroo.
Yeah.
All right.
And a blonde mullet. He's got to get frosted tips and cut his hair like a mullet.
If England are 2-0 up, then you're Odsal Stadium on Speedway track,
naked,
in a pair of Aussie budgie smugglers crawling round pitch.
Crawling. Deal. Sign me up. Confident. I get my mum and dad in crowd if I do it.
They sell tickets to that. You have to move them big tyres out of the way. Right. Let's close it down there, lads. So obviously in the next few days we'll get the England team dropping, and then obviously it's the run up to the big game, the drive down to Wembley for me and you, Carl. You'll be watching it. Are you going to watch it, or you said you got a wedding, but
I'm going to try.
Who'd go to a wedding when Ashes haven't happened for 20 years?
My missus booked it on purpose.